painful event for me because I promise you, I felt like we could play with these guys, and I felt like we could run the football with them and throw efficiently, not necessarily the deep ball down the field, but that efficient throw. And I think we're going to be that. It's an ability that we have on our team to play efficient and be a better offense, because it's very difficult for us to critically look at that defense and know that they were going to be on the field for the great majority of that time. So, anyways, I like my team. I think they're going to develop. I never had a team this young, but it's a damn good team, and the young guys are the best. So I like some of the veterans certainly, and they'll play with us till they exceed their schooling, and but I like where we're going. Obviously, the opportunity has got to be made for us to make the most of it as we go forward. So, questions?
Les, were you guys hit hard by COVID this week? Velton missed the game, several linemen. I mean, you don't want to make excuses, but that's a lot of players to go without.
Can you guys ask that again? Can you hear us?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you ask that again, Gary? Thank you.
Les, you guys were missing a lot of guys, Velton, Gardner, linemen all over the place. Were you hit by COVID this week?
Yes, we were. We right in the center of our defense, times two, and then we've lost a couple of guys further to injury. That Belton being one, and really a couple of nicks, not major knees, but nicks, and yeah.
Do you have an update on Jalen's health?
Yeah, the updates what I have when I walked by him, and he says it feels a lot better, and I don't know to what extent that means, but I know he's going to work hard and do everything he can to be back, because I don't know exactly how bad. So.
When you were watching him lay there on the ground, he was kind of in an awkward position. What was going through your mind after that hit?
Well, he got hit a lot of times in that game, and we can't treat our quarterback that way, or we won't have one, and that's a fact.
Hey, Les, what can you do with your offensive line?
Well, I really think that and this is what's hard, that they're capable. I mean, I really think that they're a capable football team, a football in the offensive line. I think they're capable of playing it. And what can you do with them? Continue to work them. We're going to open date, and at some point in time, there'll be some young guys shooting ahead, and if that's what happens, that's what happens. But I'm not certain.
Les, given the struggles of the offensive line, is there any part of you that, given the fact that you guys are so high on Jalen and his part in the future, would you reconsider starting him if the O-line doesn't get better?
Are you saying that we would consider starting Jalen?
Would you consider whether it's worth it to continue starting Jalen if the offensive line doesn't get better?
would I consider not taking my starter and sitting him on the bench while I play my offensive line? Probably not. Probably I would work this offensive line harder and longer, and I would make sure that they understood the technique that they needed to have. But again, they improved, and it just goes to show you that this is a really pretty good Sooner football team. I didn't expect that they would run around our tackles like they did, and yeah, I can't wait to see this film. To be honest with you, there's very strong indicators.
Les, wanted to ask you, and maybe this is hard to think of in just the heat of the moment, but going back to 2019, your first recruiting class, you guys didn't take any scholarship offensive linemen. Looking back on that,
But here's the thing. It's not that you don't take them. You can't take players that are not good enough, and you can't take players that will not develop. And if you do, you're making a tremendous mistake. I promise you, we looked at every one of those guys, and the guys that we had teed up were frankly just not capable. And we're going to move on this next class and the class in back of it are really good offensive line classes. So, yeah, we like the Cable Dues in that group.
Hey, Coach, I wanted to ask about Luke Grimm really quickly. He had a couple of nice plays today. How did you feel like he played? And then what have you seen out of his relationship with Jalen Daniels?
Are you talking about Luke Grimm?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm telling you, he's going to be something. And they do have a nice relationship. I mean, they know that Luke can make a pretty spectacular play on the ball and come down with it. And I think that that's a great friend for a quarterback in duress.
Hey, is this as overmatched as you've felt this year, or maybe in your 2 years now at KU?
Overmatched? Yeah, you want to tell you what? I still don't feel like that we can't play with them. I didn't say we beat them, but certainly I thought that we would play with them today and give ourselves a chance to beat them late in the game. But no, it didn't happen that way.
Hey, Les, any thought at moving Malik away from left tackle? Have you guys considered that at all?
We kind of we're going to kind of rely on the line coach to make that decision. But we'll certainly consider those moves. But I think that Luke or Meadows, our line coach, will kind of stand in there. I like him. I think he has mobility and has, he's a natural guard, which we all see, but he's also has really strong mobility. It would be interesting to see how many pressures and sacks that line actually gave up.
Hey, what happened with Chris Hughes today? I think you mentioned some other guys that were out, but why was
Chris Hughes was hurt, and he'll probably be back after the open date. We're nicked up. I mean, there isn't any question that there's a couple of guys, the Steph Robinsons, the Lawrence Arnold, the good player from Texas. I mean, you probably could put a good roster together just with the guys that we have nicked. So And the good news is they're not major surgeries, and they're not, going to be out for quite some time. I mean, next fall is the spring, viable at times with these guys. So
Hey, looking
Hey,
at
Coach.
their defense today, what do you see as maybe the biggest issue as they put up so many points?
that the offense that was running football, and if you looked at the NFL games, as we were driving here, I was watching the abilities that the NFL, worked in a nice tandem, offense, defense, and special teams. And if you take a piece of your offense, defense, and special teams, it's like you can't succeed. If the special teams breaks down, then there's an issue. If the defense is on the field the whole day, or quickly 3 and outs, there's a problem for the defense. The defense is, looking at 92, 90. I don't know how many they have here today, but it's good. It's better. It's 67 opportunities at plays. But I guess what I'm saying to you is our football team has to win in 3 categories, and right now we're really malfunctioning at 1. And if we can kind of get that, back in place with the High Shaws and those people, we'd be in pretty good shape.
One
Hey,
more for
Coach.
Coach.
Hey, Coach, I believe by my count you had 11 players from Oklahoma on your squad. What did it mean to bring those guys back here and to bring them home, to their home state?
And they're quietly smiling. They wanted to play well for their team, and those guys that look back at home, they're looking forward to those days where we take teams like that and play with them and win.
Thanks, everyone.